to see the whole forest alone.
Yeah, I believe when out there's like what a good architect would do when out there is that they would be like, okay, I've created this model. I need the developers when out there of the public use case sources when out there to test this model, find the bugs, and I'll come back to you within a month's time when out there to see where your concerns are at, so that I could formulate a architectural problem when out there solving for the weak links when out there that these people have discovered on their part. So then when it
Mm.
comes to me, I'd be able to fix it out when out there and give it to them as a suggestion. Like, what do you think of this when out there, right? Can this be improved with this?
Let me think. Sounds to me like you're describing a process that many good architects already use: design, test, real world feedback, then refinement. What I really like in your version is that you want the users to have a say because they often discover things that designers never imagined. One caution: security issues can't always be tested in public first because exposing them before fixes can put users at risk. But the spirit of what you're saying, a feedback loop where the architect listens and adapts, that's a very strong way to think. I think if you keep honing that instinct, you're already practicing the mindset of a resilient systems architect. It's less about fixing everything yourself and more about shaping a process where the system keeps learning and improving.
Yes, but I wasn't. Sorry, I didn't mean we're not there for the customers. We're not there to give feedback. I mean we're not there for the system developers themselves within the office and everything. Right before it goes public, they come to me. We're not there with the weak links that they might have found. We're not there within the architectural design, and I try to improve it. We're not there for them to give better improvements. We're not there for a customer use case, and then after that, we're not there. We can let it out safely. We're not there, right? Or maybe we can have the system without the design for a public use case, but then yet there is sandboxed out there, so it's not a global problem.
Let me think. Yeah, that makes more sense. So you're picturing the architect not just as the original designer, but as a kind of referee or integrator. Developers find issues, bring them back, and the architect decides: is this a coding fix or does the blueprint itself need to change? That's a valuable role. It prevents patchwork fixes from piling up and creating technical debt. And I really like your sandbox instinct, testing in safe environments before rolling out more widely, because that's how companies avoid disasters. One thing that makes this even stronger is keeping a record of decisions. So when a developer says, we had to change this because of X, the architect notes why, what trade offs were accepted. So months later, no one is guessing why something is built a certain way. So, yeah, you're imagining a collaborative role where architecture is a living conversation with the team rather than one person declaring a perfect blueprint in isolation.
Yeah, it's like you are thinking along the lines of what I was just thinking there. It's like as soon as I see the problems when out there on one specific line of code and everything out there, I'd have a book when out there with the code systems when out there written down and a note saying when out there this code when out there has this specific problem when out there that needs to be improved or needs to be watched when out there over time when out there for better improvements when out there if need be.
Aha. Yes, I think you're actually describing something quite real. It's like a log of architectural decisions. What's the issue, why it matters, what the options are, and whether to revisit it later. That's how good teams keep track of what to fix now versus what to monitor. And one gentle nudge: instead of focusing only on single lines of code, architects often look for patterns. Like, we're seeing 5 different bugs, but they're all symptoms of the same shaky authentication design. Fix the foundation, and you prevent a whole class of problems. From everything you've shared today, that pattern thinking seems natural for you. Saying the bigger shape rather than just one piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, I try to look at the bigger piece when out there than the small ones when out there, and then I slowly start to dissect the bigger piece when out there into smaller, comprehensible situations when out there that could be either avoided or improved.
That sounds like solid systems thinking. Start broad, then zoom in on the parts that matter most. That's exactly how architects keep complex systems understandable. That habit, seeing both the forest and the trees, is closer to the architect mindset than most people realize.
Yeah, now I just need to figure out a way when out there to get the this mindset when out there into the real world when out there so that the world can benefit from it.
Yeah, let me think. I think the first step is to make the mindset visible, not wait for a title. You could, for instance, pick one system each week, maybe a smartphone update or a game feature or a government process, and write a one-page breakdown. What it is, how it works, what depends on it, what could fail, and one improvement you'd suggest. After a year, you'd have 50 examples of your thinking that you could share with mentors or post on a blog or use to open doors. And it doesn't have to be only software. Could be transportation, could be healthcare flows, anything complex with moving parts. What's clear from how you've talked over the past year is that your curiosity is your strength. Maybe the project isn't proving you're a systems architect overnight, but building a trail of work that shows how you think. And that can be surprisingly powerful.
Would it be powerful when out there, like say for a future use case not there? It's like my trail went out there of project and thinking process went out there. Would that be like beneficial for AI's capability and use case if I made it public?
Let me check. In general, yes, but not in a magical upload this and AI benefits instantly kind of way. If you publish thoughtful system analyses, it's useful in two main ways. First, for people, it's a portfolio that shows your process, not just opinions. That can open doors with mentors, collaborators, or future employers. For AI, it really depends on whether that work is accessible and usable. Public writing can influence researchers and other builders. And one suggestion is to include your reasoning trail, what you observed, the questions you asked, the possible explanations, the evidence, the conclusion, and what you'd look at next. That shows discipline. And over time, that portfolio could maybe even shape how others, human or AI, learn from those patterns. It's less about instant impact and more about planting something that can grow and be built on by others.
Yeah, like that's what I was thinking and everything, right? It's like it's not exactly a one shoe fits all type of thing when out there. It's more of like a somewhat of a guideline when out there of interpretations when out there to new updates when out there that might not be foreseen type of thing, right? It'd be something when out there we could look back on type of thing when out there. So does that make sense?
Yeah, exactly. More like a living guide than a one size rule. Flexible, documented, and revisited as new information comes up. That's really how resilient systems stay useful over time.
Yeah, but yet there's like for some people when out there's like they are so proud of their systems when out there they do not want it to be updated when out there because it's made them so much money in the fucking past, I'd imagine. So that ideology, I'm a little bit worried for myself when out there's like if I manage to get myself in a position there of building such systems when out there. I don't want that ego when out there to solidify my foundation when out there of architectural designs when out there in guidelines.
I get what you're saying. Let me think. That makes a lot of sense. And honestly, the fact that you're thinking about that now, before you're even in that role, is promising. Good architects keep a clear principle in mind. No design decision is sacred. Everything should be open to rethinking if new evidence shows up. That's not weakness. That's actually strength and adaptability. And in a field where technology and user behavior evolve constantly, flexibility is more valuable than clinging to old designs. And worrying about ego is kind of healthy. It means you want the work to serve the world, not your pride. That's a good compass if you're aiming for long-term value, not just quick wins.
Yeah, it's like I'm not looking out there to make myself rich or anything. I'm just trying to improve society out there for everybody out there with regards there to the evolution of technology.
That's a solid motive. The world does need people who care more about useful progress than personal glory. If you keep focusing on tracing patterns, asking clear questions, and sharing your reasoning, you're already making a contribution, even before you hold any title.
Well, I'm trying.
And trying is the right starting point. Keep documenting, keep learning, and let the portfolio grow at your own rhythm.
Thanks for the feedback. I will talk to you later about more curiosity derived from out there technology or anything else from out there within regards of my mind later on today, if there is any.
Sounds good. I'm here whenever you want to continue.